All right, we're on to the Citation of Distinguished Alumni Awards, and it's my great pleasure to introduce the president of the Arkansas Alumni Association, certainly one of the most passionate and dedicated volunteers I've met, and he's made it his mission during his tenure to build pride for the university by bringing awareness to the incredible accomplishments of students, faculty, and alumni. Please welcome Mr. John Reap.
Okay, first I want to thank all of y'all for being here, especially obviously on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Arkansas Alumni Association. I first got on this board about 8 years ago, and one thing that I remember distinctly from my first meeting from Mike Masheshko was everybody out there, especially you new people, I've said it before to the returning board members, needs to come to this event. This, folks, is the showcase event of the Arkansas Alumni Association, and I've been to every one, I think, in the 8 years I've been on the board, and every time it just kind of blows me away. It is our showcase event. I wish we could probably triple the number of people here. We had to just eliminate a lot of folks that probably should have been here. But thank you for being here. I want to. The chancellor was a little bit kind to our friend Graham Stewart, but I'm not going to be that way. Gary talked about Yankee. I don't think. I don't know. Some of you out there picked this up. But you could tell from the way he was reading the script that he was not from around here. Right? Did you catch the pronunciation of Pulaski? Did you catch that? Did you catch the pronunciation of Jonesboro? Heineman, did you catch that? You're off visiting, I don't know, but he's not one of us, folks. He is a Yankee. Now that's okay. You know, Gary handled it well, and that's okay. But he's on probation, and I'm working with him, and we've got others working with him. Now, he comes from, and I'm deviating from the script, and people are going crazy. That's okay. The chancellor did it, I can do it. Okay. He comes from a place, folks, that I thought was a foreign country. I grew up in Little Rock Public Schools. I thought I was pretty well educated, but I thought Ithaca, New York was a foreign country. I didn't, I'd heard about it in the movies, but Graham Stewart, we're working with him. He's a Yankee. I don't even think he's warranted the welcoming committee, Gary, to come even see him or find him. But anyway, he is an accomplished soloist and professional Grammy Award winner. He's a professional whistler. So we're just proud to have him, but he still is on probation. So, okay, I will go to the text now. Can I go to the text?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Do you need help?
No, I'm trying to find out where I am. I'm going to pay for this. I know I will. Okay, since the establishment of the Citation of Distinguished Alumni Award, in 1944, 185 men and women have been honored as their alma mater's brightest achievers. In essence, this award is a Lifetime Achievement Award recognizing exceptional success. Previous CDA recipients are truly the pride of our hearts, representing the very best and brightest alumni from all professions. And we've got our Razorback analyst, ESPN guy coming up. If you watch Razorback basketball on television, you probably recognize our first CDA recipient. For him, it was a natural transition from assistant basketball coach and NBA scout to TV analyst. This Fayetteville High School graduate joined ESPN at the start of the 95-96 college basketball season. Today, he is considered one of ESPN's top men's college basketball game analysts. Each year, he announces more than 60 college basketball games from across the country and provides weekly studio analysis from ESPN's headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut. He is best known for announcing in the Southeastern Conference, where each week he calls the SEC Super Tuesday games, as well as ABC's national telecast of Saturday games. He also has a major presence in the ACC, the Big 12, and has been an analyst for the women's NCAA tournament, since 2005. In previous seasons, he served as college football sideline reporter, working both ESPN and ABC football games. He has also provided analysis for the WNBA, and I don't know why they put this in, Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Now, how did this get in here? Who slipped this in here? Is it? Well, up in Ithaca it is. Okay, good. And here's another one, ESPN's Great Outdoor Games. Now, am I supposed to know about that? Is that big? Is that big? Okay, all right. All right. He often provides expert analysis as a football and basketball game analyst for the Arkansas Razorback Sports Network on many Razorback football and basketball games, something he understands well as a three-year Razorback basketball letterman himself. During the off-season, he's a popular motivational speaker and often hosts Razorback athletic events. The Arkansas Alumni Association is proud to spotlight the achievements of an enthusiastic television analyst, inspirational speaker, and passionate Razorback supporter as a 2012 Distinguished Alumnus, Mr. Jimmy Dykes.
First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Gary Ritter for speaking for 10 minutes. Now my 9 minutes isn't going to seem so bad. Gary, thank you for that. I would like to tell you how much I'm honored, how humbled I was to receive notification this summer as I sat at my desk in my home and opened that letter and read it, and tears came to my eyes. That's how much it meant to me. This is the highlight of any award that I have ever received. For the Alumni Association to think of me as someone that they would want to honor on a night like tonight in a group of people like this. I've heard people talk about the education they received at the University of Arkansas, and I certainly would not be where I am today, entering my 17th year with ESPN, had it not been for the University of Arkansas and what it did for me. The education I received at the University of Arkansas is a little bit different than what everybody else has talked about tonight. First of all, as a player at the university, I'm pretty sure I'm still the only person, a three-year letterman, that their overall grade point average was higher than my point per game average. I'm pretty sure that's still a truth. And I was close to a 4.0 student, but I wasn't quite 4.0. That tells you what my point per game average was. Anyways, my education at the University of Arkansas is the reason why I'm standing here today. And it's not what I learned in the classroom, although that was very, very important. It's what I learned on the basketball practice court every afternoon for 3 hours as I tried to keep a Razorback jersey on my back through the status as a walk-on at the university. And when you're from the University of Arkansas and you look back on your playing days as a Fayetteville Bulldog as I was, and you grew up in this state and call it home, there's a tremendous pride and a tremendous passion that will never go away from the days that I got to put on a jersey that said Arkansas across the chest. And those are some of the greatest memories that I've ever had. And I had to work extremely hard every year to keep a jersey on. I wasn't guaranteed from one year to the next. Only thing Coach Sutton ever offered me was an opportunity. And I took that opportunity and I did the very best I possibly could to be a part of that team and work my way up to travel and three-year letterman, and got to go to Japan before our senior year. Molly was on that trip with us, and some great memories which launched me into my coaching career and then launched me into the NBA as a scout, and then I was at the right place at the right time with ESPN. But I fall back on my days here at the university and what it taught me and the value to work. I learned that from a young age from my father, who's here tonight, B.W. Dykes. I'm very blessed, very, very blessed for both my mom and my dad to be here tonight. B.W. and Sue Dykes are here. I'm blessed as well for my wife of 10 years, Tiffany, to be here with me. We have a 7-year-old daughter who's in gymnastics. She's not a tight end or a starter anywhere, but she does get to answer the phone in her first grade class every day, and I think that's big. Also with me tonight at my table is my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, John and Robbie Prine. A year ago, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with a cancerous brain tumor. and I'm standing here to tell you what God has done in her life. She's doing beautifully. There's no sign of that tumor coming back, and we praise God for that tonight. At ESPN, my first couple of years, I did 5 or 6 games. That's all I did. So I flew on my own dime to ESPN and met with our boss at ESPN's college basketball department and literally had about a 12-minute meeting with him. And in that 12-minute meeting, he told me that I would never be at the level that I'm at now. He said I was never a professional ball player, was never a head coach on the college level, was never an All-American in college. And although he liked what I did on the air and I worked hard and they thought I did a good job of those 5 or 6 games, that would probably be about where I would cap out. I just didn't have the name recognition behind me. And I shook his hand and told him thanks, and got on the plane and headed back to Fayetteville. And on that plane ride back, I thought back, what have I learned? What have I learned in my life up to this point? I was probably, 32 years old at the time, 31, somewhere in there. I reflected back on my days as a Razorback. I thought, you know what, back then, I was never promised anything. I had to work for anything I'd ever got. And I'm not going to let that hold me back now. That if I don't make it in this business, that's not going to be the reason that he told me. If I don't make it in this business, it's going to be because I'm just not good enough. And I poured myself in from that day forward. My commitment level went to a whole nother standard with me. And I thought I'm going to watch more film than anyone else. I'm going to work harder than anyone else. I'm going to treat people right. No matter what game I go to, I'm going to learn the name of the cameraman just like I'm going to know the name of the producer. I'm going to treat everyone at that game that night with the utmost of respect. And I'm going to be reliable and dependable. I'm going to work my tail off, and if I don't make it, I just don't make it. And I fell back on the education that I received on this great campus that is so dear to my heart that I love to talk about on national TV when I can weave it in at the right times. And you know what? 17 years later, that guy is no longer with ESPN, and I've just signed my 3rd 4-year guaranteed contract. And I tell you that story not to brag on myself or tell you how much success that I've tried to achieve in my life. I tell you that because I think there's a story there for all of us. For your sons or daughters that maybe aren't here tonight or where you are in life, you always get up one more time and you get knocked down. You always find a way to stand back up and say, God, we're going to go again at this tomorrow. I failed today, but we're going to go back at it again tomorrow. And if you maintain that passion and you maintain that commitment and you maintain that just doing what's right when it's really, really hard to do what's right, man, you can just keep on climbing in life. I know this. I'm around the greatest coaches in the games today. I invest time with them. We reflect off of each other a lot of ideas. And who I'm going to be at the end of my life is who I am day after day after day after day. I think that's what eventually defines all of us. That's what defines this chancellor right now who leads this campus. I know what he does day after day after day after day. I hear stories about him and how the people underneath feel about Chancellor Gerhardt. And that's my challenge to you in this room, for me to tell you that you can do it. And because of my ties to the University of Arkansas, I go back to the days and I think this, that there's something about the Razorback passion in academics, in athletics. There's something unique and special about this state. There's no other state out there like it. I've traveled the country. I know all the states and how they feel about their universities. And the Razorback passion, the Razorback spirit cannot be matched. Just like our football team right now is going through a little bit of a tough year, But I know this, as a Razorback for life, I do know this, that we will get back up. We will be stronger from going through what we're going through right now. And the Razorback pride and the Razorback passion will always, always outweigh any time we get hit in the chin. I want to thank the Alumni Association from the bottom of my heart for having me up here. There's so many people that deserve to be up here more than me tonight. I love this state. ESPN, all they ask of me is to live in a proximity to an airport. Fayetteville, Arkansas, Springdale, Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas will always be my home. The day that it comes that I'm not working for ESPN is because I'm working for the University of Arkansas in some capacity. Thank you very, very much.
You didn't tell us who the coach was going to be. Okay, come on.
If I had more time, I could have told you.
Oh, yeah. It's not my fault. Okay. Thanks very much, Jimmy. What a great ambassador for our state. It's awesome. Our second recipient this evening has the distinction of blazing a path in a career characterized by a series of history-making firsts. After many all-nighters at the Vol Walker Library, she became the first African-American woman to graduate from the University of Arkansas with a degree in architecture in 1975. She later made Maryland state history by becoming the first African-American female to earn a license to practice architecture in that state. She's the first woman and the first African-American to hold virtually every position of leadership throughout her 37-year career in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. She was the first black female and the first architect to achieve the highest civilian rank of senior executive service in the Corps of Engineers history. In 2004, she was appointed Chief Architect of the Army Corps of Engineers and served as Director of Regional Business for the South Atlantic Division, which designs and builds major military facilities, including barracks, hospitals, office buildings, commissaries for the Army and Air Force in the Southeast. In 2006, she deployed to Baghdad, where she served as Director of Reconstruction Programs for the Gulf Region Division, directing the efforts of 500 personnel in rebuilding Iraq. She has served as the Chief of Engineering and Construction at the Transatlantic Center, directing a staff of 80 architects and engineers in the design and construction of a multi-million-dollar program in the Middle East, Africa, and Russia. The Arkansas Alumni Association is justifiably proud to salute the achievements of a visionary and a pioneer as a 2012 Distinguished Alumna, Chris Hinton Lee.
Thank you. To Dr. Bobbitt, Chancellor Gerhardt, family, friends, thank you to the Alumni Association for this honor. I am honored, I am humbled to receive this award, and I accept it. It's hard to believe it's been about over 40 years ago that I started at the University of Arkansas as a wide-eyed, impressionable architecture student. As a matter of fact, I was here when Dean Shannon was here. He was in 5th year, I was in 1st year, and of course we didn't get to know each other because seniors don't associate with freshmen. But our paths have since crossed, and he invited me back this year to do the commencement address, and I thank you for that. I also heard through the grapevine you might be responsible for submitting my nomination for this award, and I thank you for that. I'd like to thank Debbie Bloom for all the hard work that she did to prepare me for this day, and I'd like to thank everyone who had a hand in my selection for this award. Again, I'm humbled. But I'd also like to thank a series of other folks. I'd like to thank all the naysayers who along the way told me I couldn't do it. A poor African-American girl growing up in Mississippi. There were no schools of architecture any place in Mississippi, so most folks in Mississippi didn't know much about what architecture was. I just happened to think I could be one because my father was in the building trade, and I would frankly rather follow Daddy around every day on his construction sites than follow Mother around in the kitchen, and therefore I never learned to cook, but that's another speech. The fact is, I never stand to speak unless I tell this story, and I see that someone saw fit to print it in the program, and it is the thing that I probably give more credit than any other single thing for catapulting me into the position that I currently enjoy, and that is the story of the bumblebee. And if you would allow me to indulge you for a second, I will tell it to you. How many of you know that a bumblebee cannot fly? Growing up in Greenwood, Mississippi, the Hinton children were not allowed to say what they could not do and what they could not be. My mother used to tell us the story of the bumblebee. As the story goes, the bumblebee cannot fly. Big, round body, itsy bitsy wings, makes it aerodynamically impossible. But you know what? The bumblebee doesn't know that. So it just flies anywhere it wants to fly. The moral of the story is this: if you teach a child that she can do something and she doesn't know that she can't, then she can. Then she can. And I've lived my life that way, and that is the reason all the series of firsts that you heard, I didn't know I couldn't, and so I did. So I came to the University of Arkansas, wonderful institution, prepared me well. I came with the right stuff, but they finished me off and prepared me for the world. And so those parents I told you about, I need to say one more big thanks to them. My parents, at the age of, in their 70s, entered the university at the University of Mississippi State University. They entered four-year college. And they went to college, they got their degrees with honors. She was 75, he was 79 when they graduated. So I thank them for that drive, and frankly, I'd like to thank all of my family members here today at the table. And I'd like for Sarah to stand because Sarah is following the Hinton tradition. She is back in college at age in her 50s, getting her college degree. Sarah is my cousin, and her daughter is a former basketball star at the University of Arkansas, Celia. Stand up, Celia. Some people might remember her, Celia Anderson. So I thank my family, and last but not least, I'd like to thank my very best friend on earth. He is my former husband. I married him once, we divorced. I married him again, we divorced. And now we're best friends. Stand up, Nick. Thank you.
And Chris she didn't mention that she brought LeBron James with her tonight. I spotted him across the room. I don't know if any of y'all seen him. His name is Willie Hinton. Willie, stand up. He's LeBron James' fifth cousin. Right here, look at him. There he is. And another deviation from the script, but I've gotten really kind of connected with the School of Architecture and talking to Jeff Shannon tonight, and we're talking brag points, points of pride, achievement. Just got some incredible news in of the ratings of the College of Architecture is just knocking them dead. It's genuinely one of the top architecture schools in the nation, and we're so proud of what y'all are doing, Dean. That's great. So thank you. Our last recipient always knew he wanted to stay and work in Arkansas after graduating from college. He started his career with the Worthen banking organization before purchasing his own bank, First Security, in 1977 at age 27. Under his 35 years of leadership, he has guided the bank through several expansions to evolve into First Security Bancorp, the second largest bank holding company based in Arkansas, with more than $4.4 billion in assets in 70 locations throughout the state. As chairman, this alumnus oversees all of the affiliates that fall under the First Security Bancorp umbrella, which includes the flagship First Security Bank in Searcy. The signature teal color extends into other financial service organizations as well, including the well-known Little Rock-based investment banking affiliate First Security's Crew and Associates in First Security Public Finance. He has kept the focus of First Security on his home state. Declining to bid on failed banks auctioned off by regulators, his work has not gone unnoticed. He appeared on Arkansas Business 2009 and 2011 Power List and served as a member of the University of Arkansas campaign for the 21st Century Steering Committee, the chair of the university's 2010 commission, and received the Sam M. Waltons College Lifetime Achievement Award in 2011. And he is the king of the Eddie Bauer family. Is that what I was told? Okay. He's the king. The Arkansas Alumni Association is proud to recognize a civic-minded leader who shows great pride in his state and the University of Arkansas class of 72 and 73, Searcy, Arkansas, Rennie Rutledge, Sr.
Graham, I haven't met you until tonight. I still hadn't met you, actually. I saw you up here. Glad to see you. I didn't know that a requirement for your position was to be able to sing. You obviously qualify. Congratulations. Eli. Where'd Eli go to? There you are. You're taking pictures. I can't see you. Aren't you glad that the selection committee for the Walton College didn't require you to sing in order to get the job? We have a new requisite now that we might put into place. Before we started tonight, I was talking with Chuck Welch and his parents, and I told him that I was really a little jealous. It's nice to get this award, but I would rather get his award, the Young Alumni Award. I didn't know what the requirements were. I thought under 70 would be okay, but under 40 might be a stretch, so sorry I didn't get that. I also am going to make a couple of comments about being favorable for being at the University of Arkansas and the time I spent here. I am going to have to be guarded though, Chuck, since you brought some of your directors and Ron Rhodes is here. I was visiting and had lunch with your new chancellor in Jonesboro yesterday, and we do have some locations up there, so I have to be careful, and my allegiance is back and forth. Don't take anything personal there. And Dave, you want to be careful what you say. You know, it wasn't long ago you asked me to do something. I told you no. Now, you did come back and twist my arm, and I went ahead and did it, but I still reserve the right to buy out of that. So you need to be nice. Don't encourage Ann to do any more buying for her sons than she already does. You know, only in Arkansas can someone from a small town in South Arkansas called Smackover, born in a doctor's clinic on Main Street, be up here in front of this group at such a fine occasion. Class of 40 was what I graduated from, and to come from Smackover, which is almost on the Louisiana border, all the way to the University of Arkansas is probably about as long a trip as anyone could make. But you know, only in Arkansas and only at the University of Arkansas could a country boy from South Arkansas be accepted and figure out how to become a part of this wonderful institution. And once you get out, and I do tell students who are asking me about coming to the university, obviously they're not going to this, they're already up in this area, Chuck. Students about coming to the university, one thing I do tell them is that only in Arkansas and only at the University of Arkansas can you meet friends and acquaintances that when you go out into the state, into the job world, Everywhere you go, you will have friends. And everywhere you go, you will have people who will go the extra mile in order to make your life easier and to make you a success. And that certainly is what has happened to me. Because whatever success I've had has been at the aid of Ann, my wife, and probably at my boys, a little bit of their shortfall from the standpoint maybe I wasn't everywhere that I needed to be, but somehow Mom took care of them and they got through the fight, and it's been really a success. I would like to say, from the University of Arkansas's perspective, at the search committee that we had this last spring for Dean Jones, we had many discussions, and one thing that we talked about was the fact that, you know, back in the 60s and 70s, the University of Arkansas was a good school. It really was. We all came here and had a great time, learned a lot, and it's helped propel us to where we are today. But then here we are 30, 40 years later, and our kids have come to the University of Arkansas. And let me tell you, it is a different place. It is a much better, stronger, more reputable institution, thanks to the administrators, thanks to the faculty, and thanks to the alumni. And you know, I think our goal should be going forward that we can make, Molly, we can make this institution an even better place for the next generation. And with all of your help and support, that will happen. I want to tell you that I very much am honored by this award. I'm floored by this award, and I thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
Well, I want y'all to know that this is an amazing evening, and I'm fixing to have y'all come back here next year. All right. Well, listen, the board of directors and alumni staff consider the Alumni Awards ceremony, as John said, the single most significant event of the program year. It's a time when the U of A family really stands proud. The annual awards dinner is a result of the hard work, commitment, dedication, and teamwork of the entire alumni staff. I'd love to really hear a round of applause for Debbie Bloom and the entire alumni staff. You know, I can personally say that I've left the office at 6 or 7 most nights, and Debbie's there till 9 or 10 getting this place ready, and she does a fantastic job. Thanks also to the Alumni Board of Directors Awards Nominating Committee, which selected tonight's recipients. Members of the committee present here tonight are Don Eldred, Glennice Feeney, John Mormon, and John Reap. Thank you, guys. In addition, the university's Faculty Awards Committee worked hard to select 3 recipients. Committee members present this evening are John Pianowski. Great job, everybody. Also, please note in your program that 4 table sponsors for tonight's event. We appreciate our colleagues from the Dale Bumpers College of Agricultural, Food, and Life Sciences, the College of Education and Health Professions, the School of Law, and First Security Bank for their support. Tonight you have met 10 very special honorees. A former Razorback basketball player who now calls the games from press row, an alumna who proudly boasts many firsts as a retired chief architect, a longtime banker who remains loyal to his state, a community servant who selflessly gives his time and talent to the university, a civic leader who learned to make a difference at a young age, an emeritus professor who created an exchange program with the Republic of Panama, a young graduate who in a few short years became an academic leader, a marketing professor who is bringing real-world encounters to the classroom, a professor and scholar who's using his research to help the people of India, and a professor who is changing the face of educational reform. Distinguished alumni and friends who provide an outstanding example of this quality of this university. Hopefully, we have demonstrated tonight that the University of Arkansas educates and enables at the highest levels and produces exceptional graduates who reach the pinnacle of success while serving Arkansas and the world. Be proud of your U of A family. On the eve of homecoming, we have a tradition of calling the Hogs, and I'd like to invite our Citation of Distinguished Alumni recipients, Jimmy Dykes, Chris Hinton-Lee, and Rennie Rutledge, up here to come to the front and lead us in that tradition. Hey, we all hope you enjoyed this evening. It's a really special evening. Please spread the word. Good night, everybody. Be safe. Go Hogs, beat the Golden Hurricane, and here comes the call.